Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Between the Benches. We are pretty much, okay, it's not scheduling wise, we are pretty much in round two of the Stanley Cup playoffs 2023. We have one game seven left.
Yeah, thanks, New York.
The Rangers, the Rags, and the Devils play game seven tonight while we're recording. But tomorrow, round two starts. Round two starts tomorrow. We have two matchups tomorrow. And I guess we're diving in. Let's dive in, right? I mean,
just get after it.
Let's get after it. Round one we're going to talk about, or round two, game one that we're going to talk about is the Dallas Stars versus the Seattle Kraken.
I'm ready, depression. No, I'm kidding because I love Jake Ottinger.
Yeah, me and Jake are a little bit disappointed that we don't get to watch the Wild move on. Okay. Again, that series was great. Could have been a Western Conference final of a different universe. But I think this could be a great series as well.
I mean, we'll see. I am thoroughly impressed with what Seattle did. Thoroughly impressed.
Let's start with Seattle. Let's start with Seattle and Colorado. 100%, I can say we are with most of the rest of the world in saying did not expect Seattle to show up and perform as well as they did.
Well, we did both say we could see Seattle winning in seven. We just didn't pull the trigger on it.
Correct. I had Colorado in seven. You said you could see Seattle winning in seven. But they performed every game. Like,
they got the first goal of every game.
Down.
First one.
Except for game seven.
Okay, they won. They won.
Or game six. Either way, it didn't matter. Yeah, they did what they needed to do. They fought off Colorado, which was not an easy feat at all. Their fans showed up in the arena. Well, really both fair arenas. Their fans showed up. Coaching staff ain't half bad. Philip Grubauer showed up better than you and I expected. None of these games got out of hand. None of these games were like none of these games might have been more than a 2-goal game.
At least I didn't feel like it. Like all of them were super close.
That's a fact.
I mean, Seattle probably played 7 of their most opportunistic games I've ever seen. Also every single little mistake Colorado made, they just jumped on it. Whether it's Bjorkstrand getting a rush goal out of nowhere,
needs to be talked about. 100% needs to be talked about. Bjorkstrand performed well and above what anyone could have expected in Game 7. Had 2 goals, nice goals, like beat goalie clean goals.
Yeah, that was the first goal.
Post and in.
The post and in.
1-on-1.
Beautiful.
Hit 3 more posts. One of them being with like 3 minutes left. Hit the post. I could have swore it went in. I was like, game's over. Did not go in. It hit post again. Clean passes past Georgiev every time. Like, not even a joke. And he had some clutch stuff, clutch performance to finish the game too. Defensively, getting the puck down the ice when it was an empty net. Like, just, he was unstoppable. You have those performances in this league in the playoffs, 100%. It happens every year. You get guys that do this kind of stuff that aren't the guy that does it every game, but they're locked in some games. And this guy was more than locked in, and Colorado did not have an answer all game for the guy. So hats off to the dude. Had a tremendous game. Could have had a hat trick at any moment, honestly.
I mean, that was probably the line of the series.
Yeah, could have been.
Which is, I guess, technically Seattle's third line, but Tolvanen, Gord, and Bjorkstrand.
So, just to recap, Okay, because I'm as curious as anyone else might be, or just more. Game 1, the Kraken won by 2. Game 2, Avalanche won by 1. Game 3, Avalanche won by 2. Game 4, that's when Seattle won in overtime by 1, obviously. Game 5, Seattle won by 1. Game 6. All right, game 6 was a little bit of a Avalanche won 4-1. That was the only 3-goal game of the entire series. So, either way, I talked about how it seemed like every year we watched Seattle, or every year we watch Colorado in the playoffs, and they tend to have games get away from their opponents, where it's like Seattle wins that game 6-1, 6-2, something like that.
We also did say those games were primarily a lot of power play goals.
Correct.
Which did not go their way.
Did not go their way this series. And Seattle stayed in pretty much every game. I mean, like, that was that, dude. It's kudos to Seattle. Happy to see it. I think a lot of the world is happy to see it. I've gotten nothing but good feedback about Seattle and everything on TikTok, which I posted Seattle a decent amount on TikTok in the past week because they deserved that. They had a great arena atmosphere overtime win, a couple controversial stuff that happened. So that was all posted. Everyone kind of positive feedback about Seattle. So maybe consensus is we're happy to see it happen.
Well, it's not like we're shy about the fact we don't like Colorado.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And I don't think other people are too. But, I mean, respect Seattle for what it's – or respect Colorado for what it's worth 100%. Real talented players. Bednar's made it happen, obviously, for years on end. But Seattle, man. It's all about Seattle right now. And, again, we talked – I said it previously. They had 13 players at one point. At the time I said it, it might be more now. They had 13 players that scored goals this series, which was more than any other team in this playoffs. Just shows that everyone contributes on this team, period. And that's the teams that I know me and Jake like to see. Teams top to bottom that can do it all. Teams top to bottom that put up a good performance. The effort's there. The heart is there. And Seattle, if not anything, had more heart than Colorado, and it showed. And just good for them, man.
Dallas is another one of those teams.
100%.
There's not a line that I don't like on that team.
No. No, absolutely not. And I like Seattle. I mean, not lie. I do like Seattle. I also like Dallas a lot. I've liked Dallas going into this playoffs 100%. I have them far in my bracket. It was tough between them and Minnesota for me, 100%. But Dallas is a great team. And Dallas defensively isn't what Colorado is. Goaltending-wise, 100%. It's not even close.
Not even close. And depth, not even close.
Fact.
So we're going to do the offense, defense?
I didn't set that up.
Well, we could just run it through. It's not like there's 3 of us this time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Offense.
I think you clearly have to give that to Dallas.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think Seattle, though, isn't someone to count out.
No. You
But-
clearly, at this point, can't. But
We're talking on paper. I mean, that's really what you can say is on paper.
they also didn't have more than like a 4-goal game at any point in this playoffs
It's true.
on a team that's notoriously not great at defensing.
Yeah.
Like their defensemen are always those like extra forwards out there.
Absolutely. And Dallas on the power play
Was automatic.
killed Minnesota. That was it. That was
the series.
That was the tail of the tape right there. Was Minnesota got killed because of power play. Minnesota did an awful job being able to defend that. Staying out of the box wasn't so easy for Minnesota.
Yeah, that's where Eric's neck being out really hurt.
Really hurt. They couldn't win the faceoffs defensively whatsoever when they needed to on penalty kill and stuff. So that really killed them. Dallas capitalizes on every power play. I mean, it shows. It absolutely shows. They had to be the best power play team in this playoff so far, and it's probably close with some others.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's not close. They're setting
that's fair.
records right now.
Okay. Fair. But either way, Dallas is lethal.
Oh, lethal is a correct word.
Yeah.
Because like the sheer amount of power plays I can remember that were face-off shot goal.
Yeah.
It's like at least 3 that were less than 10 seconds. That's just outright lethal. It's the only word to describe it.
I believe these are power play stats. Well, I'm about to say, which I'm very positive they are. But Dallas was at 37.5% on the power play, which is 1 a game out of 3 penalties, pretty much. Out of, if not more, you can't take more penalties than that. That's a guaranteed goal, pretty much a game at least. Which was 4th in the league somehow. There were 3 other teams better. That blows my mind. But again, Dallas takes it offensively, defensively.
Dallas,
100%. That's just his. Come on now. Coaching or no? Let's go goaltending.
Come on,
Dallas, and it's not close.
no, because
Jake Ottinger's, I think we both believe, the best goaltender left in the playoffs, hands down.
correct.
It's not close. He had some great performances against Minnesota. He will continue to have great performances. He's had great performances in the past in previous playoffs. Shows up. Stonewalls. Shows up, steals games. Can't ask for more.
He's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. The next category is just so funny to me. Coaching is hysterical to me because me and Jake especially Jake, has a strong history with 2 of these coaches. Me and Jake have a strong history in attempting to figure out what the absolute hell Pete DeBoer does to do as well as he does every single time he's in the first 1 or 2 years.
But only the first year.
Yeah, it's insane. We don't know how that works and how Pete DeBoer makes that happen for every team he's on the first year. And then the other one is Hackstall, which Jake has a history of.
And he's still doing the same things, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the same exact things. It's just the team is better.
Facts.
And there isn't really like there's a toy that he plays for no good reason. Andy McDonald.
Yeah. Do we have that? We don't have that now.
You don't have that here.
Fair. So what coaching?
I cannot say Hackstall. My body won't say it.
It's DeBoer. DeBoer has experience. How much experience in the past 10 years? Past 5 years, maybe? Playoff
10,
experience,
12.
10, 12.
He was the Devils coach in 2012.
Yeah. And then then he went to San Jose, deep run, cup finals. Then Vegas ran. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. Hey, Pete DeBoer topped Fleury, by the way, in this past series after the whole Fleury backstab Pete DeBoer thing. Just saying. Just crossed my mind. That's all. Other than that, man, Rube Hintz, great performance. Top point getter in the league right now in the playoffs. Has the most points, period. Had some great games against Minnesota. Shorthanded, power play, 5-on-5. Performed in all those situations. Toughest player on the ice, maybe, to play against. Was against Minnesota. So, things to look for, 100%. How do you think the series goes? I don't know if you prepared this ahead of time. I did not prepare just result ahead of time. So I don't know if you want to.
I'm kind of using these as my way to think it out.
Same, 100%. Same.
And Dallas is such a different monster than what you just played.
In Colorado, 100%.
And monster is the correct word for that.
Yeah.
I might have to say Dallas in 5.
Wow. Yeah?
Yeah.
Seattle wouldn't win, huh?
That consistent point shot crap is not going to work on Dallas,
Mm.
and they are too strong on defensively on their own blue line to give up the rush stuff. And even if you do, you have Ottinger to beat, not Georgiev.
Yeah, 100%. And this guy right here, Heiskanen, great performance as well. A huge factor in these games as well. I mean, I got to go Dallas. I'm going to go Dallas in 6. I almost want to lean 7, personally. But I'm going to go Dallas in 6. I think they are we saw what happened with Colorado in 7. Dallas get 1 game less is good enough for me. And I think I'm just going to leave it there because Seattle's got heart. I think that carries them to 2 wins. But Dallas and goaltending for Dallas is so strong, 100%. And the team is just built, man. Team's just built. So that's it. I expect a very, very strong performance out of Dallas. And that's that. So let's move on, shall we? Next series, Toronto and Florida. Not a series that I thought either of us would see, right? Not at all the series that you or I thought could possibly happen.
Not even close.
Not even close with neither of them, maybe, probably.
At least one.
Yeah.
Like, there was no excuses for Toronto this year. They were better on paper.
Mm-hmm.
That was never the issue.
Yeah.
And they just, they finally did the thing.
In 6. Not even 7.
Not even 7.
Maybe
you knew if they were going to 7, they weren't winning it.
I was going to say, maybe that was the thing. Maybe just don't get to 7. That's that.
A couple of times in a couple of these, Game 7 losses, you knew they had to win that game,
previous.
Game 5 and 6.
Yeah.
That they dropped for no reason.
Yep.
They just couldn't close out. And you knew once it was going to 7, they were dead. Montreal's when it comes to mind on that one.
Yeah.
So they just, I just find it catharsis, that John Tavares was the guy that they didn't even like. They moved on to their newer, shinier toys.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to run him out of town for the last 2 years now. And he has a hat trick in one of the games. And the overtime winner on his first shot of the game.
Yeah.
Not his first shot attempt, but the first one that actually made its way to the net. And he's the guy. He's the hero.
Yep. 4 goals this series. Marner and Matthews, by the way, 1 and 2 on this team as far as points this series. Marner had 9 assists.
He was leading the playoffs at one point.
Yeah, definitely was. Well, he was only second with 11 points. So seeing Marner and Matthews both have production in the series, along with Jonathan Tavares, the usual that we see. Is it surprising that they won?
A little bit, actually.
You think so?
Because, Braden Point and Kucherov didn't do a thing.
That's also true. Yeah.
And then would you expected that performances from Samsonov?
No, not on some of them. Which, by the way, hey, Matt Murray, I believe, practiced today.
Yeah, he's not coming in. He's not coming in. Not a chance.
Better not.
It's just, after game 1, Samsonov was 1 and 7 in his playoff career.
Yeah, 100%.
And then he just rolls off, a couple, at least one stolen game before I consider game 6.
Yep.
I did not see that part coming. That Vasilevsky would be the worst goalie of the series.
No, did not see that coming. Just kind of happened for the Leafs, man. That just kind of happened for the Leafs. Just purely on paper, looking at it, and it's kind of wild because Samsonov didn't even have that good of a save percentage.
Well, no, because he got lit up in the first, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, there was a couple high-scoring games during this series too. But either way, really something that stands out to me, Toronto is 76% on the penalty kill compared to Florida's 59%. 59% on a penalty kill is brutal.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That will lose you this series.
Yeah. You somehow, made it happen against Boston. That's wild. That's something that none of us expected. But made it happen against Boston, closed it out. I honestly thought the series was over after like game 3, to be honest. But closed it out, made it happen, or it was game 4. But you can't do that against Toronto. Not on special teams.
No.
I mean, that's not going to cut it.
Mm-hmm. Not a chance. You're not doing the same thing penalty kill wise and living to tell the tale against this team.
Fact. That's just not how the cookie will crumble. What do you have to say about this series other than that?
I would say Florida. They really need to get Toronto rattled.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you're going to be able to do now that they got the monkey off their back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
that ball might be rolling way too hard.
It might be now.
It might be.
Because I just think like you're not going to get them to make those like mistakes from being stressed.
Yeah.
And they're not a team that really.
They're not going to fight that hard.
Fights back.
Yeah.
In that way, like they're not going to just lose their temper.
Yeah.
Boston did. Like they were very clearly under their skin, especially Allmark.
Yeah.
I don't know. This would have to be Anton Lundell's coming out party as like as a premier two-way center for Florida to win. I think if you're catching where I'm going, because I don't know. Besides, as much grief as I give Barkov, he is at least good defensively.
Yeah,
like you can match him.
Yeah,
but you need more than one.
You do need more than one. Hands
so
down.
I would do Barkov against the Matthews line.
And Toronto's coming off a series where they played a head coach that was like, I'll take center 1, 2, and 3 any day against Toronto's team. Lost in 6. Wow. And he was very confident in his centers.
He should have been.
Absolutely should have been. 100%.
I mean, I think I would do Barkov against the Matthews Nylander line, and then a combo of Lundell, Ekblad against Tavares Marner.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what you're doing against O'Reilly besides hoping that the wingers can't really finish.
Man. This is kind of wild. Just looking at the Panthers roster and numbers and everything like that, there are some standouts, man. I mean, there are some significant on-paper things that are blaring, that just are shooting, like striking my eyes right now, okay? One being Ekblad, okay? Let's talk plus minuses.
Oh, you mean the pylon?
Yeah, the pylon, right? That what's his name? That was Justin Thomas?
No, that was Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka, thank you. Brooks Koepka said. Also later took back. Apparently they're friends.
Because no, they were not.
Well, apparently they might be friends now.
Maybe now, but maybe they very much were not.
Either way, Ekblad. Okay, every defenseman on this team, Jake, is either at a 0 plus minus or a -1 plus minus. Okay? You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Ekblad's pair, 7. That is so much of a night and day difference.
Did we not say he's one of the top 5 defensemen in this league?
Hands down. I mean, that is an insane number.
Is Gudas?
Gudas is probably he's a -1. But that's
insane. Killed in that series.
He did get killed. He got absolutely killed. But you're also going against a professional pest. You're trying to get under his skin, which maybe not the worst theory that you came up with, but did not work whatsoever. Not work whatsoever.
What theory?
Trying to get under Marchand's skin and stuff, playing him hard,
Kachuk did.
Yeah, Kachuk did. That's also true. But Kachuk's the master. Kachuk is more mature than he's ever been, and it shows. And Kachuk plays when he needs to play the role that he needs to play, like at any given time. Right? I'm not wrong in saying that.
He should be the captain.
He should be the captain, hands down. He's obviously an emotional leader on this team. It's not.
Clearly.
It's not funny. We heard him post game.
He was the one doing all the post media,
Yep.
like all of the like media interviews and the explanation for how they did it. Like,
And I wish I should have had that up, but that's okay that I don't. But he said, he was the guy who was like, hey, listen, everyone in the world might have thought this was an upset, except for us in our room. None of us thought this was an upset. We thought we could do this from the beginning. And hey, whether you did or not, and whether that was the truth, that's what you say. That is the thing you say.
yeah, what else are you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean that's it's true. What else are you gonna say? But that's true. And he had a dominant performance, 11 points in this performance. The next person on the team that did the best had 8 points. He was the goal leader on this team with 5 goals. Just a clear difference maker, and he should be the captain, like Jake said. Also, another standout thing. Okay. Which is kind of just out there and random. Okay. No one in this forward group has a -1 plus minus. Like, no one has a minus plus minus in this entire forward group, except for Anthony Duclair has a -6.
Who was supposedly on a line with Barkov.
I don't understand where any of that came from and why no one else. I mean, that's just doesn't even make sense to me. That's wild. But I don't know. That's kind of out of the blue, and just I don't know what that means because it's such an outlier, especially when Barkov had a 0.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
kind of wild. But enough of that on paper stuff. Jake, offense and offense. Who are you taking?
Toronto.
Like any day, right? Like this is. I mean, it's just an overwhelming offense. I think is. where
That's
that
always
is.
been how they were built.
Yeah, hands down. Defense.
Besides Ekblad, I don't really like anybody else on that defense.
Yeah.
Like, Forsling has been good with him.
That's the thing. Yep, 100% with him.
Everyone else kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like Mark Stahl, the shell of Mark Stahl.
Yep.
Brandon Montour, the reclamation project.
Now, Giordano and Justin Hull
Well, Hull didn't play the last 2 games.
-7.
Yeah, they were bad.
That's
Because Hull was
insane,
terrible.
dude. That's so awful. Giordano -6.
Liljegren played the last,
Yeah.
well, at least 1, but 2, I think. At least last game.
Yep. Luke Shen +6. It's kind of wild.
Well, it was him and Riley.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, Riley didn't have the greatest series besides
When he
offensive moments.
showed up. Yeah, 100%.
They were just erased with goaltending.
Absolutely.
That reminded me of the one play of Hall where he turns the wrong way. That's just I don't know why that popped in my brain. That was just mind-boggling. How at that level you're still making a mistake like that.
So defense and defense.
So I think it's got to be Toronto, right? Like we did say that, like with the trades going into that trade line privately, like the 2 players, if you hate Toronto, that you would hate for them to get were McCabe and O'Reilly.
Yeah, it's true.
And it really has fixed a lot of their issues. And it's no surprise to me that they get those players, fix the issues, and they finally won their round. Like McCabe was a force.
Yeah.
Like he just slowly landed body shot after body shot that whole series until it's no surprise to me that the top players for Tampa ended up not like fading off in the series.
Yeah.
Because he was just abusing them every chance he got, which is how you win in the playoffs. We said it about this series response, message sending. And we said it about the game that's happening tonight in New York and New Jersey and how it wasn't happening.
Yep.
That you do win doing that. Like, Florida won because of that.
personally, I think defense against defense. Okay. I think Florida, with the best defense they can put out there, Ekblad out there, the best defense they can put out there, I think is a better defense than Toronto. We're talking about 60 minutes and or more, full team, top to bottom, forward groups included. I think you're right in saying Toronto.
It has to be because because we kind of touched on the matchups. Like, what are you going to do when Gudas and Mahura are out there?
Yeah.
You have nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
You just hope they don't get caved in.
Yeah. So.
Which is not a strategy.
No. So where are we at? Goalie and goalie.
I will take Top Bob over anybody.
Yes, Top Bob. I love anything we say about Bob. I just think it's so funny. Top Bob. I will take.
I will take number one cop in the force, Bobrovsky, over anybody.
Top Bob all day. When Bob is top, you need top Bob. Bottom Bob is awful Bob. Top Bob's where it's at. Bottom Bob, Samsonov. Hey, if you say top Bob, that means a bottom Bob has to exist. And can't be up down Bob. Can't be up down Bob either. Has to stay top Bob. No up down Bob, no bottom Bob. Bobrovsky all day. It is Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky did not have a bad performance against Boston. You said it over and over. It depended on the game. Okay. Dependent on the game was never really bad, right?
No.
Yeah.
He got hung out to dry for a game and a half.
Yeah.
And then shut the door when it mattered.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they're gonna need him. They're gonna need 2019 Columbus Bob, really, if they want to win. That's what's really gonna come down to. You can only get so far trying to shut down those top guys.
Yeah.
And now you really only have one line that'll do it effectively, or one group that'll do it effectively.
You're
gonna need Bob to be that guy.
Yeah.
Number one cop in the force.
You need Wall Bob. The Bob Wall, coach and coach.
This is right. Yeah. So we ragged on Sheldon enough, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like he didn't do anything special. He just made the obvious moves. And I don't know. I think it's Keefe just by proxy to make the good decision, like the obvious decision. Because after his blunder, he just said, "Do what makes sense."
Florida is head coach. What's his name?
I can't remember.
That's not Paul Maurice, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought. I don't know. Have not been in tune with Florida enough to just remember.
No, it's because Paul Maurice is probably one of the most forgettable good coaches in the NHL.
I agree. Played Boston well. Did what needed to happen. Hardly. But Sheldon Keefe winning a matchup against John Cooper was not in our bingo card.
Yeah, threw our minds for a loop, huh?
Threw my mind for a loop. We maybe we not praised a coach enough, or not even close to enough compared to.
What do you mean? Look at that -7 on his favorite toy.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I'm not going to give him points for taking the player that everyone told him not to play out of the lineup.
Won the series, though, man. I mean, kind of crazy about that. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know who I want to take. I don't know who I'd rather in this scenario. Gotta hope Paul Maurice does the right thing. Sheldon Keefe, though, is playing with a little bit of.
All right, gun to your head. Who is it?
Probably Sheldon Keefe. Unfortunately,
I knew you were going, and rather than drag it out,
Sheldon Keefe is playing with a little bit more house money.
Oh yeah, no, you just saved your job. regardless, you won the round. They're not gonna fire you. So
hands down. Yeah. I mean, is that or is that where we're ending that, right?
What are we thinking? What are we thinking?
Oh yeah. I knew there was one other thing we needed to say. Oh, jeez. I want to say Toronto in 6. I want to push it to 7 badly, but I just don't know. I don't know if I can imagine 7, but they just beat Boston. I have to go. I'm gonna stick with it. Toronto in 6.
Toronto's healthy.
Toronto was healthy.
I don't know if Florida has the horses.
Fact. Bob.
Bob.
Don't forget
Bob.
The Bob factor.
Toronto in 7. That's
Okay.
funny.
Fair. Let's move on.
Two.
Two.
Are we getting to my favorite series?
Yes, we are. To Vegas and Edmonton. A strong series. 2 guys.
This is all you need to say. There's just two words.
Just 2 words.
McDavid, Eichel.
Fact. A narrative that has been written for a while. A narrative that this is the mountain peak of that right here. This is Jack Eichel, best player on Vegas. I mean, arguably.
No,
right?
he is.
But yeah. Well, hey, I didn't say what I said about Chandler Stevenson for nothing. Okay. And then the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid, best player in the world. So now, other factors, obviously, I just said one of them. Chandler Stevenson was a big, huge part about this Vegas series. I said a lot about him. I posted about him. I want to say he was the team leader in points. Give me a second, and I will confirm that because I think it's got to be true. I believe it is true. Chandler Stevenson had 8 points, a whopping only 8 points. Mark Stone had 8 points. Okay, I'll give it to him. But Chandler Stevenson still had a great series. Mark Stone, another factor. Pietrangelo, but notable, you know. And then Leon Draisaitl was so unreal, you know. Took over the series. What do you have? He was out there for 14 plus goals. That was at game 5. We said that 14 goals that he was out there for. What seemed to be kind of unstoppable, to be honest.
They did not stop him at all. That whole series.
Fact.
Not at once.
Evan Bouchard, great series as well. You know, absolutely. But yeah, really the narrative. I'm sorry to cut you off. Really, the narrative was, or is, and will be McDavid, Eichel.
Yeah. Who would have thought we actually get that matchup years later?
Yeah.
Man. I don't know if we said it here or just to friends, but the point that if the Oilers made it past LA, there were maybe only 2, maybe 3 teams that could stop them.
100%, all the way. Right?
Yeah, all the way. The whole playoffs.
Yeah, and I think the most possible matchup you had, I think you and I both had this Western Conference Finals, not to just spoil our bracket or anything. Both had Western Conference Finals, Edmonton, Dallas.
Yeah, we had Edmonton first, the winner of Minnesota, Dallas.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
Yeah. Jason might have had Colorado.
No, we all did.
No,
he had
Dallas?
Edmonton.
Okay.
And you 2 had Edmonton, Dallas, and I had Edmonton, Minnesota.
That's what it was. Me and Jason both had Dallas. Either way, I think those are the strongest teams in the West.
Oh, and by the way, those 2 teams those 3 teams that could beat them are Dallas.
Correct.
I thought a healthy Minnesota.
Absolutely. Yeah, never really the Minnesota that was going to be in this playoffs, unfortunately.
And Boston.
Yeah, all right. Not LA. Oh, you said if they made
After,
it past.
yeah, past LA.
Okay. I'm 100% with that. 100% with that. Absolutely. It really does only come down to Dallas and Boston, just because it's so unfortunate that Minnesota was dealt the cards that they were dealt, injury wise and just health wise and everything altogether. It really was unfortunate. But yeah, Dallas, 100%, and then Boston, 100%. I agree.
See, a lot of the stuff I have to say about the series in its preview will come down into our breakdowns of positions. So I don't know if you want to just jump right into that, because besides saying that,
can I say something?
Stuart Skinner needs to be better. Is
100%. Stuart Skinner with an 890% or save percentage, 3.43 goals against average. Some of the lowest in the playoffs right now.
Well, I don't think I saw him clean save one thing. Not one. Everything had a terrible rebound.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
it's going to be offense versus defense this series.
And Jack Campbell won a game out of those. So Stuart Skinner went 3 for 2 in that series.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do it. Offense versus offense. Because it really is.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Mincing words. What?
Because this is kind of wild how bad it is. 1, power play percentage. Okay. Oilers were at 56%. Stupid. That's obviously first in the playoffs. More than 1 out of every 2 power plays are scoring.
Oh, you cannot take power plays. You cannot take penalties against this team.
Absolutely.
They're going to score on you nearly every time.
Now, Vegas, on the other side of that, 58% penalty kill percentage, which is about the same in the opposite direction. 15th in this playoffs.
Well, that doesn't really correlate the same.
No, but I'm just, it wasn't pretty. Power play percentage for Vegas against Winnipeg, 18%.
Well, how much of that really is Hellebuck?
Maybe.
I would expect that to be low, to be honest.
Maybe, but that's really low, I feel like. Either way, comparing these 2 power plays is a clear night and day difference. It's going to be. But you don't want to take it. Taking penalties against Vegas is different than taking penalties against Edmonton, obviously. Yeah. You can afford to do so against Vegas. You absolutely cannot afford to do so against Edmonton. You can't be in one of those scrums where you're going to be the team as Vegas, where you're going to be the team that ends up taking a penalty.
No, actually, I think if I'm Edmonton, I'm sending out.
Yeah.
You really only have one agitator line now with how they've gone.
100%.
With Fogle, McLeod, and Derek Ryan.
Yes.
But I'm having all of them be mini Kachucks, and Fogle can do it.
I know
firsthand Fogle can do it.
Firsthand Fogle, yes. I know firsthand Fogle can do it, yes.
Yeah, because I would do that. I would have them just all the little rat tactics.
Yeah.
Draw them in.
Because Edmonton can afford to do that. Vegas absolutely cannot.
Even if they take you too.
Yeah.
Open ice for Connor and Leon.
Yes.
Game 100%. Over.
Yeah. So that's a clear difference. That's definitely an advantage Edmonton has in this series. 100%.
Especially if Yamamoto's starting to get it going too. Because that guy's always kind of an X factor for them.
Yeah. Like you said, offense.
Not a question here.
Not a question.
The Oilers are probably, just by 2 players, still the best offense left because the way that they're deploying them.
100%.
I would, absent from what the coaching changes that was made, I'd probably say that Toronto's the best offense left. But
that's fair.
The way that they've been deployed, it's hard to deal with.
Yes. Defense.
Vegas.
Okay. I agree.
I just can't. I can't trust any defensive core that has nursed the top pair. Can't do it.
And he got exposed.
Oh, clearly.
Always does. It's not something that's even worth.
He's such an issue.
It's not something worth citing.
He's shockingly bad.
Yes.
It's funny. I can always pick him out on the ice, regardless of looking at number, just by the guy that's just wandering, going nowhere.
Yeah. There's a lot of goals where you just,
Where are you?
oh, who's that guy? Obviously that guy.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
And usually, that 9 times out of 10, that question was answered with, "Oh, it's 25."
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Me and Jake. Yeah, 100%. Goalie.
This is tough
It is tough
because
because I don't want to say Brossois.
Brossois
Had much better numbers.
Skinner.
Much better numbers. Also against the very depleted Winnipeg team.
Brossois is good enough to stonewall Winnipeg. I don't think he's
Depleted
good
Winnipeg, though. I mean, it was at times,
Skinner's bad.
Yeah.
Skinner will be the whole reason if Edmonton loses a whole round.
And it's not like we're just saying Skinner's bad. Because we loved Skinner regular season. Skinner has been great. But we're purely talking about the last 6 games that Edmonton played. That is all we're talking about. That's all we're citing at the moment. Skinner in 5 games, actually 5 games for Skinner. Went 3-2 those 5 games, right? Numbers are not pretty. Was exposed. That's what we're talking about. Like I don't want to just put it out there saying Skinner's bad. That we mean that as a general statement. We're purely just talking about
a team
LA
like Vegas is going to be able to take advantage of those rebound shots that LA was trying.
Yes.
Especially now that it's been exposed.
Yep.
LA figured it out a little too late.
Yeah.
But it was there all series.
Um,
I would think if it's Brossois Skinner, I'll take Brossois. If it's Brossois Campbell, I'll take Campbell.
I stand by that. General statement.
Is that a cop out?
No, because yes, you said it. You said what needed to be said. But in this, we got to pick one or the other. We're gonna pick Vegas.
I'll take Vegas.
Yeah, we're gonna take Vegas on that category. But what you said needed to be said because we're gonna see more of Skinner this series than Campbell.
I think it's a really short leash. Really short.
All right, that's fair. Coach.
You know what? I'm a full believer in Woodcroft right now.
Okay, that's fair. I stand by that. I stand by that 100%.
Was he kind of forced to go 770? Yeah, but it has made them the one thing they haven't been this entire Connor Leon era.
100%.
And that's on matchup proof.
Yeah.
You can't match up against them because what are you going to do? They played the 2 super lines. Or they double shifted both in the last. I'm just going to call it the 2 super lines because it's not really what it was that one game.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Connor out with a group separate from Leon, and they had Leon out with a group separate from Connor. So they both were double shifted with 2 different lines, but then also together with an Evander line.
Yeah.
It was just honestly it was very, very impressive, and all that kind of little minutia stuff that I love.
Yeah. Like you said, Woodcroft, 100%. I mean, this is a reasonably split decision down the middle.
If you're Vegas,
yeah,
how are you dealing with that?
Yeah,
you're doing Chandler Stevenson winning faceoffs,
which I think he can dominantly against this team as well.
A healthy Mark Stone trying to get one line, but even a triple shift him.
Yeah,
and then you have Pietrangelo.
Yep.
What else do you have to answer? Eichel's not shutting anybody down. He's just.
You're talking about 100%. Yes, I didn't realize.
Yeah, where you trying to match up. You don't have a matchup option.
It's true.
You don't. There isn't one.
You have had in previous years. You do not currently have.
Maybe Stastny and Pacioretty might be nice.
Yeah.
But new toys.
Series.
Edmonton 6.
Yeah. Edmonton 6. That's spot on.
I think Nurse and the goalies blow at least one for Edmonton.
I don't think this gets the 7. I cannot see this series in a game 7.
I can.
You can?
If the defense for Edmonton falls apart enough. That's the only thing that'll hold up this.
I think they do enough offensively, though, at the same time.
It's true, but, you saw where LA was able to pick on Nurse enough in the game.
Yeah.
He was bad in 2 games Very bad.
Yeah.
-3s. And also Connor. I mean, Connor figured it out in that last game.
Yeah.
But
that was LA, though. LA's
also the team that could do it the best against him.
Yes, exactly. So let's move on to our last series. Our series that is not even set in stone yet. Our series that is being decided currently as we are recording, where the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers are currently 0-0 in the first period with about 5 minutes left. In a game 7. We just talked about Paul Stastny, right? Winner. Yes. Series winner, I believe. Series winner goal against the Islanders in maybe laughably the worst goal to end a series I think I've ever seen.
You're talking to the Flyers fan.
Yeah.
And this is a big series involving Patrick Kane.
Yeah. But even that goal was at least aimed towards the net. This was not even aimed.
The Tavares one wasn't at the net. That was going wide until it hit his skate.
That's also true. Hey, this was going across the crease out until it hit Sorokin's skate and just in. And, I mean, it was bad, man. That was rough. I watched Islanders fans, I'm not even going to stray away from it. They were vocal enough to me at one point in my life. I don't care. I almost died at an Islanders game. I don't want to talk about it. I watched it live. I actually only watched the overtime live of this game. Turned it on. Had it on for like 2 full minutes, maybe. Watched it live. And it was on my screen right here. And I was looking at this screen. And I looked over. And within 3 seconds of me looking over, I don't know if I call it a shot. I don't know if I call it a shot because I don't think it wasn't even on net, I guess. Goal. From a spot I didn't think how. Just not even a possible goal could have happened. And I burst out in laughter. I don't know what to tell you. It happened, and it was laughable. I'm sorry, Islanders fans. Anyone that does not like you and your team would laugh. And it just is what it is. And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. I'm not trying to just talk crap on the Islanders and their fans, but if you see a rival team end their season in that way, you're laughing, So it's just rough look for the Islanders. But hey, Carolina put it together. Carolina made it happen, and that's that.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking now. I talked for a while there about this goal. I just thought it was too funny. I'm sorry.
I mean, another team. We can't really speak much because the game is going on at the moment. We're kind of want to watch it too.
Yes. And it's tough because it's currently 0-0 in Game 7. And I can't tell you either way this series is going to,
well, they both don't want to win.
Seems that way. It does seem that way.
They're both really soft teams. We just say it.
Both very soft teams.
That's one of the softest playoff series I've ever seen.
Hands down.
You don't let somebody run over your goalie 4 times in a single game.
That's a fact.
You don't do it.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Carolina is just so depleted that I don't know.
This is a tough series. This is a tough series to judge. This is a tough series to preview. This is a tough series on paper. This is just tough.
I like them regardless. I'll take the defense pairings of Carolina over either team.
Valid.
I will take the goaltending over New Jersey.
Hands down.
And I'll take coaching over either easily.
Yeah.
So I'd be tempted to say, regardless
of outcome
of this Game 7, Carolina wins.
In Game 7?
No. Regardless of outcome of this Game 7.
Okay. Yes.
Carolina beats either team.
Okay.
7 it's the Rangers. 5 it's the Devils.
That's fair.
I will even go that far. I'll give.
No, I was going to ask. I was going to lead into that actually. I think we could judge both equally, like you said, offense to offense. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
That's tough.
I think the Rangers take it over the Carolina.
Carolina hardly takes it over the Devils for me.
Rangers still can't score without power plays.
Can't score without Chris Kreider.
True.
Chris Kreider has been a part of like 90% of the goals that have happened in the Rangers series.
And the Devils can't score in the zone,
Mm-hmm.
to which the Carolina Hurricanes are the best in-zone either side team in the entire league.
Okay. Hey, lights out.
Yeah, that just
Don't know
happened.
how that happened. Okay, there we go. Jeez.
Yeah,
I might have hit a timer thing, but okay.
So that really threw me off. Yeah, Carolina's one of the best in-zone is the best in-zone team either end of the ice in the entire league.
And that leads into saying, again, you said defense to
And I think
defense.
they have
Carolina beats both.
4 centers who can play matchups. 4 centers.
I don't even know who the 4 centers are because we're so depleted.
Aho, Kotkaniemi, Stahl, and Stastny.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
And then they have Slavin.
Great defenseman. Better than any defenseman defensively than we'll see in this series otherwise, right?
New Jersey for sure.
Rangers.
He's like a hair better than Trouba.
Fair. Okay, yeah. That's fair.
He's more than a hair better than Trouba. But yeah, everybody else in the Rangers doesn't play defense.
Goalie, Jake was right. Igor wins that matchup. Carolina wins the matchup against the Devils. Coaching, you and I both pick Carolina every
I'll
day.
take Rod over anybody.
Hands down. Well,
Here.
Yes. Fact. Here. I agree with you. Carolina in 7 over New York. Carolina in 5 over the Devils. I think the Devils would be in way over their head.
Way over their head. They will get murdered in their own zone.
Yeah, I think.
Carolina will do what the Rangers were too afraid to do.
Yeah.
And
the Rangers were the best possible matchup for the Devils with no experience.
They're grown-up version of them.
Exactly.
Carolina
will take it to them.
will
will
play the dump and chase that the Rangers should have done.
Yes.
Just send it to the corner and say this puck's not leaving the zone the entire period.
Yeah.
We're going to just change on the fly until this puck either enters the zone or the period ends. Or puck enters the net or the period ends.
Then Carolina against the Rangers.
More of the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
Except that Igor can bail them out, and then
offensive can do a little bit more.
Yeah, counterattacks.
Yes, counterattacks is the only way that happens. It's just Carolina is more of a responsible team than both of these teams.
That's an understatement of the century.
Yeah, that comes
down to coaching.
That's one of the largest factors, and yeah, like you said, it comes down to coaching. Some of this team has been together for. It's just either way. That makes our whole analysis of this a lot easier. The way we've broken this down is we just take Carolina.
Yeah, it's easy.
Flat out.
That's why we still did it this way.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's kind of nice.
That's why we still went to the series because I think we both had a feeling we both would pick Carolina.
Yes. Obviously, we're both exclaiming the Rangers put up way more of a fight than the Devils. And again, hey, Devils fans PSA, and because I got to put it out there at some point in time. I knew I was going to put it out there. I expected it was going to happen sooner, and then it'd be like a PSA on a closing series episode instead of a game preview episode kind of thing, or series preview. Devils fan PSA, okay? I'm going to try to not make this long-winded.
Yeah, please don't.
Listen, okay? Don't be discouraged by your performances. Don't be discouraged by your series or performance or losing a series or losing. I thought it was going to happen sooner. But just don't be discouraged by where you're at, per se. Okay? I don't want to hear it from Devils fans. This is why this is being said right now. Just don't be discouraged by what's going on. Every team goes through it. Every young team goes through it. The Rangers just went through it like 4 years ago, and me and Jake both talked about it extensively as it was happening.
They had their moment versus Carolina.
Also true, yeah. Carolina or not, whether you lose tonight or not in this Game 7, this is a stepping stone. Okay, this season's a big season for your franchise, for your core, for your youth. There are guys on this team that have playoff experience. Yeah, it's good that you got those guys. That's not going to carry your team, though. That's not enough.
Those guys don't include Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. Like that's and what one run for Timo Meier?
Yes, probably right. Essentially, Palat is the one guy, and Holla, those two guys are the guys. A little bit of Dougie Hamilton. But,
and they weren't alphas.
Exactly. But nonetheless, this is a stepping stone season. Okay, be happy you got here. Be happy it happened. Just look to the future. Don't look to right now. I don't need no just crap from you guys about what's going on right now.
You're saying they're a little defensive.
I'm saying they're a lot defensive. Listen, it's okay to lose at this point in time. Don't keep your expectations realistic. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing that me and Jake have tried to communicate for the longest amount of time. The longest amount of time me and Jake have been trying to communicate that your expectations are here and they need to be level. Like, just level is okay. Not down here. You don't need to have low expectations. Just level expectations that make sense. Just because you had a great season for the first time, like ever, doesn't mean that you're winning a cup. Don't listen. Have fun in the playoffs, but that's just not the expectations. Gain the experience. You learn from this stuff. Every team goes through it. Football, hockey, everything. Every team goes through it. Okay, basketball. Every team goes through it. You learn and you move forward. You're going to have the same core for a little bit, okay, at least a little bit. You roll this stuff right on season to season to season to season, and your hopes, your expectations are, how about that? Here's your expectations. Maybe 4 seasons down the road, you're geared up. Like, that's how that'd be. And then you're ready to go. Just don't go crazy because your very high expectations did not get filled. Just don't have those expectations. Every team goes through this. You're not like some special Cam Ward team that this just. But even that team still had guys that had, tough guys and Rod. Either way, But Cam Ward was an outlier. Either way, right? So. Just putting that out there, Devils fans. Okay, that was the PSA y'all needed. I was going to say it at one point in time, but I figured since this was a Game 7, I'm just stuck saying it now. So
You're asking for the impossible.
I'm asking for the impossible.
That was a very long-winded monologue asking for something that's never going to happen.
I tried.
It's good to want things.
I tried. I know. Those were my expectations. Realistic expectations. They will not get met. That rounds us out, right? We've said it all. Okay. You can follow us Between the Benches at TikTok, at Twitter, BTBFTF, Instagram, at Between the Benches FTF. It's all right below me right now. If you're watching this, boom, there it is.
That timing on that.
It's always pretty good. And I know when it's coming too. It's fantastic. I only watch it. And obviously, you're probably most likely watching it there. If not, YouTube at For the Fan Show or For the Fan Network. I'm sorry, For the Fan Network. That's all the content's on there. We just had a great draft show last week. Fantastic time. That's up there as well. And that kind of rounds it out for us, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got to see this game now.
Yeah, we do have to see this game. This is a game we want to watch 100%.
Still 0-0 and about 40 seconds left in period 1.
There you go. Thank you, everyone, for watching, as always. We really appreciate it. And you can follow us at all those things. Keep up with us. And we'll be back with some round 2 action finally. Good luck to both teams tonight in the New York fan base. Appreciate it. Have fun in round 2, everyone. And we'll see you later.